Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? Chris here from Esports News, Experts, just however the flipping on these interwebs. And today I'm going to be bringing you guys a quick preview of what to expect going into week 4 of stage 2 of the CDL, that being our 4th week of CDL Quals Online. Now, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed the intro. Maybe I'll change that someday, but who knows. Anyways, let's get right into it. We have Cloud9 New York taking on the Vancouver Surge. And honestly, Vancouver, they got embarrassed by OpTic Texas last week in a pretty rough series to recover from. Surge apparently benched Abe for Capsidal. So I'm gonna say 3-1 Surge here. I think Cloud9 New York, their S&D definitely has that upset potential, especially since they're basically a upstart amateur team. So we'll say they win a map. The reality is they could win the whole series based on how they played Gentlemates and how they played everybody else. They're all over the place and impossible to predict. So I'm going to run with the pro team and necessarily just bank on consistency. So let's mirror these on Play Cracked in a second and G-Stake. Well, Play Cracked later because those are more in depth. Anyways, speaking of more in depth, we have FaZe Vegas taking on the LA Thieves. FaZe, I feel like they're just free right now. They probably look pretty good against LA Thieves, but that series against Boston last week and then their loss to Falcons, not feeling the FaZe stock going up right now. I'm feeling like it's about to dip back to whatever it was when it got memed, 17 cents or whatever the hell. So yeah, I think FaZe is honestly, I don't know, man. I feel like they're kind of cooked. So yeah, I'm going to rock with the Thieves here. I'm thinking Thieves. You guys know that's a rarity for me. I don't think since this channel started I've ever decisively just like kind of written FaZe off. So this is kind of a big moment right now. Let's gloss over it though and get to a bigger moment, which will be when the Miami Heretics surprisingly take down the Game 5 G2 boys in the Game 5. I think there's no other way for this to go than to a Game 5, and based on how good Miami is at S&D, G2's been red hot this stage. We have to say it. It looks like their consistency is going to hold coming from Major 1 to Major 2. FaZe, not so much. G2, locked. So, I will say with that caveat, I feel like G2 has a very, very likely chance of taking the series. But just for the fun of it, I'm going to go with Miami here. I've been banking on way more upsets. I've just been having way more fun with it this year because this year is so hard to predict and so hard to read. I mean, I went... Yeah, so, yeah, 9 for 11 is crazy. So, anyways, G2 taking on the Paris Gentlemates. I think the Gentlemates get back. They've been looking a little bit free lately, but I think, I don't know, I feel like they had a couple embarrassing series last week. Of course, losing 3-0 to Koi, and then also losing to Cloud9 New York in the Game 5. But that team is so good. I feel like they'll figure out what was going wrong, and I think they'll look like themselves coming into this week. Especially since they play G2 and Surge, I feel like they're definitely better than them, but I said the same thing about C9 New York. Who knows what's going on with Gentlemates? I'm going to place my faith in them one final time, though. Speaking of placing my faith in people one final time, I'm going to put my faith in OpTic to get a hot 3-1 over FaZe here. Even if FaZe look better, I still think OpTic win this series. I just feel like FaZe, they look really bad. I'm just going to be honest. Draza and 04, they look terrible at the current moment. I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe it's a teamwork, confidence, strategy thing, but I feel like OpTic take this. Speaking of matchups where it's just teamwork, strategy, or something sort of thing, I think the Toronto Koi, I think they continue their hot streak. I mean, they're currently 9-0 in maps right now. I don't see why this would stop. The difficulty of schedule has definitely been there. They played mates and they bodied them. So yeah, I mean, Toronto Koi, they look to be the real deal with Kips. I like everything I've seen from them. Even Insight is playing like in a way that we haven't seen him play since really he entered the league in Cold War. So whatever they did with that change, it definitely got Insight back in the play, got him way more comfortable, and he's looking like a absolute menace in Black Ops 7. So speaking of people who look like menaces in Black Ops 7, we have the Boston Breach, the Boston Nasties, the Boston Sparts, whatever you want to call those brothers, taking on Cloud9 New York. I think, honestly, this team with Spart, they look like they've gotten some new legs. They look like they got their mojo back. Snoopy looks to be getting way more comfortable. He's not the pop-off superstar player that we all kind of expect him to be at this point in his career, but he is finding his footing in Black Ops 7, and I think he will get back to that superstar takeover primary SMG star of the team role pretty soon. So I think it's a 3-1 for the Boston Breach here. I think they get a pretty decisive win over Cloud9 New York. I think after that C9 win over the Gentlemates, I feel like teams will probably know how they want to play against C9. There's a lot more VOD, and also we saw consistency kind of become a little bit clearer, right? In that series they played against the Heretics were able to kind of figure out how they played, most likely because of all the data that came from the Mate series, and they were able to hard counter everything. So, speaking of that, I think that the Miami Heretics taking on the LA Thieves will be a really fun one, but I have the Thieves walking away with this one in Game 5 fashion. I feel like their personnel is just a little bit stronger, and even though Miami has looked phenomenal, it has to be said, I just feel like LA Thieves, they are, in my mind, the fourth best team in the world right now. They have edged FaZe out, and yeah, I think that they will really, really stake that claim rather, in this series. Now, in our third to last series of the week, we have the Toronto Koi taking on the Boston Breach. I think this will be a really fun one. I think Boston definitely has a chance to turn some heads, prove to them, hey, the hottest team in the league is not the Toronto Koi, it's us. But I do think that the Toronto Koi will reassert themselves as a top team in the CDL at the current moment and say they, meaning the Boston Breach, of course, are not like us. And yeah, I think they're going to kind of flip the script there, right? Because they're Toronto saying not like us, a little bit odd, but I think they'll do it. So, speaking of people who I think will do it, I think OpTic Texas will do it with the Royal Ravens, but I don't think the Royal Ravens will stick around for too long. I think OpTic Texas will be 3 pumps and then we're out. You know what I'm saying? Call that Uber, send them home, and give them some DoorDash. So yeah, I think OpTic Texas DoorDash the Carolina Royal Ravens. Carolina exceeds, whatever you want to call them. I mean, Ravens they've just been all over the place. I mean, what else can be said? They've been all over the place. Like, let's not be weird. Anyways, speaking of let's not be weird, I'm going to call the Paris Gentlemates getting another 3-1. Let's hope it goes better than when I called them getting a 3-1 last Sunday, right? March 1st, because they got 3-0'd. So, I think that's how we end the week. I think the Vancouver Surge, I think with Capsule, they'll look a lot better, which is why I have them taking a map off Mates. But I think that the Mates will have too much pressure, and I think that they will get the series dub here to close out the week. So yeah, guys, that'll about wrap it up for me. Hope you enjoyed this video. I know yesterday's video was extremely yab-filled and long, so sorry about that. Wanted to bring you guys a much quicker video. Just a quick rundown of what I'm expecting in pick'ems. Actually, let's go make our G-stake wagers too. Make this video a little bit longer. So we're going to rock with, how much do we have? 25.30. So we're going to say 230 on this. 500 on Thieves. Not 5,000. I don't have that many G-stake creds now. I got wiped out, guys. If you missed last video, yeah, I got absolutely hosed last week. So we move, ladies and gents. We move. We're going to put 200 on the Vamos. You're going to take Mates. 300. 300. My bad. We're going to put 300 on OTX. We're rocking with Koi, right? We're rocking with Koi. Alright, so we're going to rock with Kips. I think he's the real deal. Kips and Joseph Deceivius. Cloud9 versus Breach. We're going to put 100 on Breach. I'm going to put 200 on Thieves, right? How much do we have left? Like 400 left. Alright. So we'll put 200 on Breach. We'll put 100 on Mates, right? And then we'll put 100 on OTX. Alright, so that'll just about wrap it up for Chaboy, ladies and gents. Hope you guys have a great morning, noon, or night wherever you be on this beautiful planet. If you like this content, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share it with someone who you think might enjoy it as well. And yeah, once again, this is Chris from Big Sports News Exportation. However, the flip you know, man, these interwebs, and I'll be signing off after I log in. Catch you guys on the next one, which will be probably a map review audit from something I liked over the weekend, like I did last week. So yeah, see you guys tomorrow, and catch you then. Peace.